This program is recorded live and may feature This program is recorded live and may feature unexpected moments, sightings, or conversations. Viewer discretion is advised.
My name is Alex, and my job is to explore the world around me and take you along for the ride.
That's why they call it the jungle, sweetheart.
I've guided a lot of adventures and have come to realize that our planet needs us now more than it ever has before.
If you don't believe in climate change,
I've learned it's only going to be through working together that we can restore biodiversity on our planet. Join myself and my friends as we bring you into the tent of conservation and the realm of the wild itself. And along the way, we'll be exploring wild things.
You want to talk about sustainable seafood? Do I ever?
In wild places.
yeah, that's probably a lot better. All right, we didn't intend to start this way, but the show's called Misguided for a reason. Is your mic on?
Is my mic on?
It'll say blue right there.
Does it say blue? It says blue now. Are we live?
We are live. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we were just running with no audio there. There you go. It's Misguided, right? Just roll with the theme.
Cold
it's
open,
going to be great.
you know?
I feel like every episode the audio is an issue, and it's largely because I don't hit the right button at the right time.
And that's okay, but it's got this whole like Apple computer in a garage kind of vibe.
It does.
That's
it's
okay.
Ramshackly, we're totally literally making this up as we go. The budget is on a shoestring. I think I've spent all of $30 for, what's it been, 8 months now of broadcasting?
You can do a full documentary on $250,000. This is amazing.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I was trying to say there for a sec, guys, welcome back first off. If you're on YouTube checking out the show, I really appreciate that you stopped to watch with us. But the show's only live on a platform called Mammals, which is, as far as I know, the only social media and live streaming service dedicated to nature and wildlife content, which is pretty cool. So while you're able to actually see the show on YouTube in syndication, it's only live and interactive. Like you can kind of see the comments, which are down in that corner right now. Saturday nights at 7 on Mammals itself. So if you're not already a subscriber or on Mammals, you're going to want to jump on there. If you're on one of our other platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, like and subscribe. You'll be able to figure out what we're up to kind of in general, but then more specifically on the Mammals platform itself. Taking another look at who's with us tonight on the stream here. We've got Pam, we've got Mom, Dylan. Hey, Dylan, glad to see you here. Brian Eberly in the house.
Rhino.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
The Rhino's here.
Brian the Rhino. Is that a thing?
Rhino the Rhino.
Rhino the Rhino? All right, I'm going to go with it. So glad to see you guys all here. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Not the original shot I was envisioning. We've upgraded a little bit. We actually have 3 cameras we can pan to now. Check this out. I'm going to go ahead and jump from this camera, are you ready, to that camera. Look at that. And then I had the one I started on, but since the audio is not working, we're going to just pretend it's not a thing. If you guys can all hear us, I don't know, give us an eagle emoji. If you can hear us, smash that eagle button real quick for us. I need to know that we're not wasting our time for, what is this, an hour and 20 minutes?
Easy. Or more, if that's what you guys want.
Natalie's here too.
Excellent.
Does she have a nickname?
Nat.
So that's a hard no. That's a hard no.
Nat the cat.
We'll go with it. It's fine. At any rate, guys, we're going to jump straight into it. Then it looks like things are mostly working okay. Although I don't see any eagle emojis, I'll just assume that things are working fine. Oh, there we go. Brian wrote eagle for us. Thank you very much, Brian. As usual, guys, we're trying to stick to a general theme. We're going to get into our headlines, where we try to highlight what's going on in conservation around the world, try to give you a little taste of the last week in review if we can. Sometimes they're super depressing and Debbie Downer.
And that's okay, because I feel like just in general, I feel like most people like know what conservation is. It's like protecting wildlife, but like who's doing it, what's going into it, and just nobody really knows. So
Right.
going through the notes on this is good.
Right.
Especially for you guys.
First headline for you guys. Oh, we got caw, insert an emoji. Well done, Nicole.
Great.
Lions are in the news. Just a few days ago, News 24 reports that lions on the back porch. So Hoedspruit, South Africa resident David de Beer, super Afrikaner name, David de Beer, recently came home to find a pride of lions on his porch, of all places.
So those of you this is in a place called Leadwood, which is a wonderful place. I've been to Leadwood a number of times. And so the thing about Leadwood is, imagine like an African safari reserve, but they said, well, what if people lived here and built a subdivision like within the reserve? So if you live there, there's probably going to be lions in your backyard. I'm just saying.
You think?
I think so.
He says, so we arrived at the house in Leadwood today and only to find someone had moved in. They had just bought the home, it sounds like. All right. Moving right along. I guess that wasn't the elaborate headline I was hoping it would be. We've got trophy hunting in the news. Let's see. I really need somebody, maybe Jeff, to like run the show here on the side, so I don't have to think. No, you're good. You're good now. We'll figure it out next week. Trophy hunting. What a loaded, challenging subject, right?
I'm swimming in a sea of nuance.
It's a big topic. There's lots of opinions. Lots of people who claim to know everything. And I think, at least for me, it's a subject that I've had to adjust my course on as I've maneuvered through the material and tried to understand what's going on, try to see different perspectives. I still feel personally the jury is out for myself in regard to how useful trophy hunting can be. How about you?
Trophy hunting is like it as a conservation tool works in really specific areas of the world. I mean, on paper, if we're kind of following the beats of like, what goes into sustainable hunting practices, then sure, great. But like, oftentimes it's misused, oftentimes it's corrupt. It just depends on who's following the rules.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it suffers from not being regulated enough, right at the core.
Right.
The Guardian recently published an article, and by recently I mean just about 2 days ago, an article that isn't too abnormal because there's numerous papers on the impact of celebrity on anything to do with conservation. And basically what the article says, to try to boil it down for you guys, is that celebrities, like, we'll just go ahead and name one, Ricky Gervais for this particular subject, are very passionate about things like ending trophy hunting.
Right.
But because of their natural platform and non-understanding of the science, messages can get diluted. It becomes a game of telephone. So what the public hears on the other side is often not the core message that was promoted by scientists to begin with.
Sure.
So as numerous science journal articles have pointed, maybe celebrity isn't the best option when broadcasting these messages.
Yeah, I think that a lot of celebrities kind of run on emotion as opposed to like what's real, I think that, like, I've seen a lot of Ricky's stuff, and like his whole vibe is like, let's shame the trophy hunter.
Right. Right.
I mean, I would gladly shame a trophy hunter, but that's not going to get me to where I want to be.
And you also don't have the same soapbox Ricky Gervais has.
Correct. Right. Mentally, I do, but physically, I don't. The thing is, like, I think that trophy hunting as a model is more or less, from a conservation standpoint, it's a band-aid before something better comes along to kind of manage wild space. at this stage, for a lot of people, it's it's like an excuse to go out in the bush and shoot a thing and then put it in your house, you know, and then claiming its conservation is something else. You know?
And what the article tries to point out is that could this be a form of what ordinarily would be called umbrella species, trying to protect many things by doing one thing? And again, I think, like you said, the more or less is a Band-Aid for the time being until something better comes along.
When in regards to trophy hunting, there's so much nuance. There's so many like layers to that you'd have to go, not even like nation by nation, but you'd have to go like province by region by bloody, just, you know, it's so complicated.
Oh, definitely. So I was surprised to find that the IUCN even supports trophy hunting in limited capacity with strict regulations. So all kinds of things.
And I think a lot of that comes down to like the alternative to trophy hunting is much worse than actual trophy hunting, because the way that a lot of nations look at wildlife is, how are we making money, you know? So if the safari industry isn't successful or the trophy hunting industry isn't successful, we'll just convert this reserve to agriculture, and then there won't be any wild space.
And I think it's worth pointing out that traditionally, I think we would point to something like ecotourism being a good solution, a good way forward. But what 2020 forced us to try to understand is the world is more fragile than we thought it was in regard to a lot. And people's livelihoods is always going to be put first, of course, in their mind. So maybe this ace in the hole that we all had for so long isn't the most viable way forward. Maybe there's new avenues that we haven't even considered yet, which is exciting.
Yeah.
I brought up the photo of the rangers here again. Rangers like these are a huge part of solving, I think, these problems in regard to poaching. And unfortunately, just in the last week, last Sunday actually, 6 rangers in Virunga National Park were killed in an overnight ambush. I posted a few things about it on all my channels across the week. But people like these, both the men and women who dedicate their lives to protecting wildlife, are literally putting their life on the line. Later in this season, I'm hoping to bring on a park ranger from the United States so we can talk more about this, talk about how in the US it's really different as compared to the rest of the world. I mean, if you look at these folks here, they're basically army soldiers fighting for wildlife, and that's pretty darn cool. Let me just backpedal here. I'm going to double check the comments, make sure everyone's feeling heard. One sec here. Let's pull that around. There you go. Cool. Canned hunting is what's covered in the film Blood Lion. Yes.
Yeah.
What a film.
I think with Blood Lions, it's good to have like some whiskey around somewhere.
We'll do a whole thing on Blood Lion.
Okay.
60-minute special, Nicole says, on canned hunting that I saw recently, and it was interesting to watch, definitely. Have you all seen Dylan points out the film Trophy? Absolutely, Dylan. That's one of my go-to favorite films. I think it raises some great points. I think it's a really well-made film. Just pulling along here. Is Jeff there too? Brian says. Yes, Jeff is. He will be here very shortly.
He's
don't
in the
worry.
shadows now.
He's in the dark, shadowy place.
He's one with the dark.
And Leo DiCaprio. Yeah, totally. There's a celebrity who's noted for their passion in regard to wildlife.
I think he's different.
I don't know. I mean, I think he...
Have you heard of the DiCaprio Foundation?
I have.
They have all the money.
They do have a lot of money.
And fund a lot of things.
But again, is celebrity the best avenue? You can't go more than a few feet without bumping into a science article about how that might not be useful. I do think, though, there's a problem in science with not knowing how to communicate effectively with the public.
Correct, yeah.
And it's that divide that's making the friction. Right. Scientists don't know how to talk to people. Celebrities can't stop talking to people.
Right.
And they think they can talk about these subjects, and they need an intermediary figure that can do both. That's where that's going. Sumatra, let's jump over there real quick. Yes. A little bit of positive news for you all.
Finally.
Sumatran rhino conservation. Now, I looked up the number before the show because I wanted to give you as up-to-date of info as I could, and I don't think the number I found was right. It said 80 as a population for Sumatran rhinos in the wild. I think it's got to be below that by quite a lot. I'd put just 80, big old question mark, and since you can't see me right now, you can see this gentleman here with some carved rhinos. I'm going to make the sound effect a question mark would make if you were to vocalize punctuation. It would sound something like...
Yes, precisely, yeah.
I love that. Sorry if that blew out your speaker at home.
At least 15 people at home. Like,
Oh no, too bad. Now, I am quite excited to be able to give you a little positive news here, because these are species. This is a species that's suffering from, just throw a dart, every conservation issue you can conjure up here. But the Sumatran rhino sanctuary in Indonesia has really been trying to be proactive about interacting with the locals, such as this gentleman here, and getting them interested in, first off, the rhinos, secondly, being excited that this animal lives in this part of the world, and that's an amazing feat. And you can make a living by relating your life directly to that animal. And again, 2020 was hard, shut down the ecotourism, but things like carved rhinos are becoming a way for people to make a living, which is kind of cool. You can buy these and ship them really anywhere in the world. We're going to cut over to Zach here. Thoughts?
hello. I think we can do a whole episode on Sumatran rhinos. I think that's really great. I mean, like, there isn't anything in this world that's like a Sumatran rhino. I mean, you guys at home that have never seen one before, I mean, like, imagine like a 1,000-pound hairy rhino that sings to other 1,000-pound orange hairy rhinos out there. I mean, like, we call it a rhino, and it is a rhino, but they really aren't all that related to
Right.
the other rhinos that you see. I mean, they sing like a dolphin, and they do that cool click blast thing.
In
that
this
dolphins
article,
do,
they called it a proto-rhino, and I'm like,
right.
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
But I kind of dig it.
In anyone that I've
Proto-rhino.
talked to that's ever met a Sumatran rhino before, just like talks about how much personality they have and how just interesting, and like they spend so little time around people that they see a person and they're like, what? You're
What are
great.
you?
What is this?
What is this?
Right.
Why?
They're so cool. I mean, anything you can do for that species. And like the thing is, numbers for Sumatran rhino populations is all over the place. It's either 20 or 80 or 100 or whatever, and most of that is like our fault in the conservation world, because the problem was that decades ago, people were saying, well, there's like 300 Sumatran rhinos throughout Indonesia. It's a dire situation, but all the same, maybe we can focus on other stuff. They'll be fine, because they never
And then,
had a high population.
several huge wars in that part of the world didn't help.
And a lot of like not sharing data among scientists, to not having proper funding. They like go out, all these things, and they go, oh geez, there's maybe 20 of these in the whole world, or 80, or whoever you talk to.
Backpedaling into the comments here, singing rhinos, super cool. I think it would be fun to have a whole just playlist of singing animals.
I think it's wild to think that unless all of us go to Indonesia, we will never see a Sumatran rhino in person before.
Musical moment. Pam says, so if we buy the art, can we make a difference? Yeah, I mean, really.
In a way, yeah.
Applying your funds to somebody who can make a living doing something that would detract them from otherwise having to go out and sustenance live or poach wildlife is a great way to try to get involved.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to find some links. That article didn't have any, so I'm going to do some digging, see if I can find some. I'll do some posting. Some cool products you guys can grab and, find animals that you connect with, get things that support that, and then ultimately directly support a local artisan, which is kind of cool. We've got Dylan with, do you think when they sing, they also play the horn? I see what you did there. Well done.
They don't really have lips, so no.
But Pam says you could introduce the filmmaker from Blood Lions. Ooh, absolutely. In fact, I'm trying to get my Rolodex of guests going. I think what a fantastic guest that would be, to be able to directly chat about a subject like Blood Lions. Trying to keep it moving. I'm going to jump to our last headline. It's already 7:20. Holy cow, we got only an hour and 20 minutes here. Now, unfortunately, I have to include this, guys. I'm sorry, but here you go. Manatee in Florida with Trump carved into its back. Now, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of, sorry to steal your line there, Dylan, how terrible the Trump administration was for the environment, the parade of endless terribleness that the last 4 years have been because of them. But I think nothing best summarizes it than the name Trump carved into the flesh of a living animal. So I don't really have a lot to report here because there's not a lot known about it, other than Florida wildlife officials are investigating. They don't really know anything. They don't have any lead, and I doubt anybody here in California might be of much use. But if you or anybody you know has any information about this, please call 888-404-3922. Again, that's 888-404-3922. That'll get you straight to the Florida Wildlife Department. You have something to say. Hold on.
Oh, and something that might put like a bit of zip in everyone's step is actor Dave Bautista has a bounty of $20,000 for anyone that has any information on the person that did this.
We will find you, is all I can
Let's get
say.
Dave on the
We
show.
need Liam Neeson here.
Yeah, right.
What is the line? Special set of skills.
Let's get both of those guys on the show.
Yeah, it's fine. Just backpedaling through the comments real quick, and then we're going to cut to our next segment. I'm so angry about this. Me too, really, though, Pam. I mean, nothing summarizes the last 4 years like carving the dude's name into a living animal. How
don't know what it means.
hideous. We are getting angry, Dylan, about something like that. I mean, absolutely. Come on. Just reprehensible. In no fashion or point of life is it okay to ever carve your name into a living animal like that.
Or anything.
Who does? What is that? I don't want to get that angry at this point in the night. It's too early in the show, but I just had to share that. We've got a new segment we're gonna release tonight. My wife, Rachel, will be on the show. She absolutely loves baking, so I thought, what a fun marriage here. See what I did there? Marriage. To try to include her love of baking with the fact that we've got the show. So she's making baked treats that relate to conservation. We're going to have her on in just a minute here to share her very first with us live on the air. But first, I'm also excited for another first for Misguided. I bought the rights to some music, and I was like, let's use it in the show.
What is it?
So typically we do a segment called Musical Moment of the Week. It's the same segment, Musical Moment of the Week, but I bought the actual rights to like a real song to play live with all of you.
Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses?
Way too expensive. No, it's a group that I like a lot. They're called The Hunts. Great music, very folk kind of. They're indie rock from Virginia. Good music, really kind of just lifts you up, puts you in a good spirit. The whole band, they're all brothers and sisters. There's like 7 of them, so it's a little Virginia backwoods, but it's good music. So we're going to go ahead and cut over to that, and when we come back, some baked goods. Don't go away.
Peace, be still, my darling. All is well, my darling. Your anxious heart may as well be stone. Oh, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Yeah, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Be still, my darling. All is well, my darling. Your anxious heart may as well be stone. Oh, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Yeah, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Oh, darling, don't be scared of time changing us more. Death will leave our bodies, but it'll never touch my soul. If you are afraid, well, heavens don't let go. 'Cause darling, I will
We're back. Excellent. Audio's on. You want to talk into that one?
Hello.
Everybody, if you haven't met her, I'd like to introduce more formally my wife, Rachel.
That's me.
That's you, as far as I remember. Newly married, the two of us, October. We honeymooned in Kauai. It was fun because it was like, will they, won't they? Will COVID allow us, won't it? I don't know. Destroy the whole vacation? Maybe? Question mark. Get yelled at by locals? Definitely.
That was fun.
It was fun, yeah. And now we're here, cold in the yard,
Yeah.
with a bunch of cactus behind us in the dark.
I miss the sun.
I miss the sun, too. I'm getting pale. I don't like it. I'm showing my true white colors. Double checking the comments there. I saw Brian. Yeah, I hadn't checked Snopes, although that's wise. I should have. The photo, I'll admit, did look more like the algae had been scraped away and not the actual skin penetrated. But I was just going with what I had there. So I hope for the best. Still, the act of, even if it's an algae carving your name, what a despicable act. But anyway, on a more bright and positive and cheery note, we've got this positive ray of sunshine with us tonight, who absolutely loves baking.
I do.
What have you made for us?
Well, tonight I've made you some granola bars. Since it's all about kind of stuff to have to be prepared. I don't know. So these have chocolate chips, which are the best part. They're from endangered species chocolate. They're like an oat milk and chocolate, which is really delicious. They're really yummy. And then some old-fashioned rolled cut oats, which I've roasted in the oven with some almonds from California and some cranberries. I tried to get all local stuff, tried to get more sustainable things for baking. They also have local Napa honey, a coconut brown sugar, which is made from coconuts. Who knew? That is supposed to be better probably for the environment than the sugar trade. These ones were, I forget what it was called. It's fair trade coconut sugar. And then also in there we have, I think I've listed everything: honey, cranberry, granola, oats, almonds.
Now, these are really pretty.
About it.
Do you want to? Your camera's right there right now. You want to show the folks at home?
Yeah, my first try at granola bars.
It's not quite the best shot here. I'm going to pull it a little bit closer. Ooh, there you go. There you go. Granola bars. Now,
Yeah.
is it a complicated process making granola?
Not too hard. You just have to roast the oats and the almonds, and then you melt. Oh yeah, I forgot to say there's butter in there as well. Local butter from Petaluma. So yes, you melt the butter and the honey and the brown sugar, and then you mix up the oats that you roasted and the almonds, and then you add in the cranberries and the chocolate chips, and then you press it down real hard.
To smash.
Smoosh it.
Now, one of my favorite parts of the honeymoon in Kauai was every morning we stayed in this far north side of the island, a little town called Hanalei, and it's just it's where they filmed Jurassic Park. It was pretty epic,
Yeah.
and in some yet to be aired footage, because when people started going there and then all the Hawaiians got angry, I
Yeah.
thought maybe not show this now. Let's wait a little bit. But in some yet to be aired footage, we'll try to show you guys what it was like there for us. We stayed in this wonderful little town called Hanalei, and every morning, right, we'd get up at sunrise,
Yeah.
and you just have all those tropical vibes around you. And we'd go down to town, and there was this little coffee shop, the Hanalei
Yeah.
Bread Company. If you're ever out there, check it out.
Yes.
Yes, finger up. Remember,
Good stuff.
we would get like the best coffee
Yeah.
and fresh fruit that was
Ooh,
local,
the
like
fruit was delicious.
bananas grown like across the street, and like
Yeah,
mango and stuff. And
guava.
we would get those bowls of yogurt for breakfast that had their house-made granola, very much like the one you've put together here, and all those fruits and stuff. Oh God, that was good stuff.
Yes, very delicious.
Good days. Well, why don't we try some of yours here? Let's see how they compare to. I mean, they're going to be far better than Hawaii.
I'll try a little. Right.
Those are really good.
Thanks.
Can't even tell they're store-bought.
I guess that's good. They're
No,
better for you, though. No preservatives.
you worked very hard on these. These are really good.
Thank you. I tried.
And what we'll do, guys, at home, we'll post her recipe. We'll post recipe you used.
Yeah.
If you did any changes to it, we'll post that here in a few days. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. So you guys can try it at home. These are really good.
Yeah. Good to bring on the trail.
Good trail snack. Yeah, tonight is all
Exactly.
about the gear that moves us.
Yeah, that's why. That's what made me think of granola bars.
Good trail snack. Good to keep you going. Lots of healthy stuff in there. Well, excellent. Let's see if anybody has any questions, comments, concern. Pam, they taste really good. I'm going to be honest. Although I love granola anyway. What do you think?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I especially like the chocolate and cranberries.
Those really come through. And did you mention the chocolate was
Yeah, it's the endangered species
Yeah.
chocolate. Yeah. Oat milk and dark chocolate. It's really good. And they're mini, so they fit perfectly into the granola bar.
Oh, Brian, you guys honeymooned in Kauai too. How romantic. I take it you guys weren't there in the middle of a global pandemic, which was strange, but I'm happy we did it. The food that moves us, absolutely. We're covering too more broadly the gear that moves us, Dylan. So this is the food that moves us. And Nicole, these are delicious. We'll post a recipe. Maybe you'll be able to try them. On that note, keep moving along. What is it? Man, already 7:30. Well, you stay there for a second.
Okay.
This is new. I think this is your first time, aside from Hawaii,
It
on
is.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this went smashingly.
Yeah. I'll have to find something yummy to bake next week.
You will always find something. She made tiramisu the other night. It was
I did.
the fact that I'm not 400 pounds is amazing.
Well, I don't bake that often.
But when you do, it really it counts when you bake. It's excellent. The critters come from the woods to the house like Snow White and beg for crumbs. You sing enough like Snow White. You're basically Snow White.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Tonight's all about the gear that moves us. So we're going to bring the guys back on in just a sec here. First, we went out to the field, did a little bit of testing of some gear, of some equipment, and tried to just noodle out. When you head out into the field, what are things you like to take with you? What are things that you can't be without if you're going to go out and go on a hike or go do some kind of expedition? What are the things that keep you moving? So on that note, we're going to cut away, but we'll be right back, so don't go anywhere. And when we come back, we're going to have the gear that moves us. Having the right gear with you in the field makes all the difference. I mean, who's to say where you're going to find yourself in life? You could be living in the middle of a post-apocalyptic nightmare like 2020 was, right? Never leave home without your first aid kit, because you never know when you're going to get a big old splinter and have to cut it out. If your intention is to photograph wildlife, this camera might be putting you at a severe disadvantage. Here, you can use this. That's better.
And it's best to not leave home without a reliable method of contacting the outside world, for you never know where you'll find yourself in life. For example, you could be standing in the middle of a field up on a hill next to the ocean like a limpet, desperately searching for a cell signal, next to a dilapidated fort, next to a giant cell tower.
If you're intending to drive off-road, this might not be the best choice. Ration bar, Jeff? Yeah, sure. You might be thanking yourself if you packed that survival ration kit in the back of your vehicle if you've broken down in the middle of nowhere like we have.
This thing says it's for hurricanes, blizzards, tornadoes, and earthquakes, but not car breakdowns.
It's probably the same thing.
Is it?
Hope AAA gets here soon. Probably late for the live stream.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna run out of rations here.
We're back.
Just like that.
I feel like Kramer on that episode of Seinfeld where he finds the set of the Merv Griffin show. No, is it Merv Griffin show? I think.
Yeah, I love
thought
Seinfeld.
Rachel.
I have
Rachel
never
knows
seen
every
Seinfeld.
episode of Seinfeld. And he just sets it up in his apartment and like has people. There's no show going on, but he just has a talk show set and brings people on and talks. And this is kind of what this feels like. Let's check in here. The gear that moves us. We've all got things that we consider staple, things that we can't be without, things that we wouldn't be caught dead not having on our person. Like me and my big ridiculous hat.
Right.
Right? Or shorts.
All the time.
Right? And at home, you guys all have stuff that you probably can't be without. I think first off, it's about comfort, right?
Right.
It's about finding pieces that make you feel good, things that work for you. So on that note, everyone's preference and tastes are going to be a lot different. If you guys have gear that you can't be without, let us know. Throw in a comment. We'll try to circle back to it as we just kind of peruse. Now, we've all brought some stuff. It's kind of like
What do you got over there?
show and tell. What don't I have over here? I've got my binos and
Is there a
coffee.
kitchen sink in there?
Lead the way, Mr. Coburn.
Almost. I've probably got water purifiers in there somewhere. I think for me, first off, is a nice hat. I've, in the last few years, become quite fond of Kubras. And I just got this one in, actually, from Brisbane last week. It's a brand new hat. I have this weird fear, for as much as I love sun, that I'm going to get skin cancer someday. So cover up and then always wear shorts. None of it makes any sense.
That's okay. Everyone's got their thing, you know.
None of it makes any sense. I have to have some kind of big bag with me. So the last year or so, I've been rocking this Gregory Zulu 40 liter. It works. It's comfortable. It houses a lot of gear. It's got a lot of nice access, nice quick pockets. And it's got a waterproof attachment to it, which is great. So those are two things I always have to have. So, a place to put my gear, a big hat, and shorts. What about you guys?
So I've got a couple things. Whether it's out in the Middle East or in the jungle or in Africa, there's like a couple things that that are a must for me. One of those is duct tape, because you can do a lot with duct tape. You can repair kits, like you get a hole in your big, you're good to go. You can duct tape yourself if you've got a horrible wound, which is not fun.
Now, do you put the tape directly on the wound?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You can also, if you get like thorns in your body, you can just tear them out real quick.
Sure.
I guess in the vein of that, another must. Nope, not that one. Mostly.
Not that pocket.
No, not that one's broken glass. Is super glue, actually.
For gluing pictures to walls?
I have super glued, I don't know how many wounds on my body. It's great if I don't have like a bandage or something floating around. So super glue is a must. For me, I mean, I'm a big reptile enthusiast, so I always bring my tongs with me.
Me
and
too.
You've got roughly the same
my
tongs.
God.
Yours, I think, are a little bit longer than mine.
I was going to say, this is kind of like a Barbosa and Jack Sparrow
Right.
telescope bit.
Now, sometimes bigger doesn't always mean better.
It means snakes stay further away. You stay here, I'll pick you up. It's going to be great.
A lot of things have been on the end of these tongs, from a cobra
That's what she
to
said.
bushmaster to whatever, and I love these tongs a lot because they actually don't even work all that well. So there's a
That's
locking
what you
mechanism.
want in a piece of equipment.
So if I've got, let's say, like a puff adder or a rattlesnake at the end of these tongs, it's supposed to lock, right? But the locking mechanism isn't there, so I've got to hang on tight, or otherwise I'm going to get tagged by something.
Sure.
That's bad. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyways.
Let's backpedal for a
Those
quick
three.
sec. Take a look before we head
Those
over there to Jeff. People are appreciating your super glue tips and duct tape. That's what we did at parks when we've got cactus here behind us. If we had someone who ran through the cactus and got thorned up, we would pull out duct tape and just be like, all right, we're going to just rip
Was that
the thorns
you?
out of you.
Were you running through cactus?
Always.
Cactus butt.
Skipped through the cactus.
Thank you.
Appreciate the subtle reference to monk. Absolutely. I was hoping somebody would see that at the beginning of that piece.
Someone got it. What's a monk?
No, it's a TV show.
I mean,
Yep. Always need tongs or hooks. Comparing tong lengths. Perfect metaphor, Brian said.
Yes.
For the record, mine are bigger.
That's okay.
Jeff, shall you?
Mine's sturdier.
Says the man whose tongs don't lock.
Yes, they are. They've seen a lot of action in there.
We need to test this now. Ignore me. Let's do
No.
this.
What, by all, you're here too.
I'm just here.
Go-
I'm here for
What'd you bring?
comedic relief. I brought, that backpack.
This is mine.
It's his backpack. I think it's mine.
We have the same backpack.
We have the same backpack. We have, without even talking to each other, we bought the same exact backpack.
You
and it's
like
great.
Yoda with the flashlight and Luke Skywalker. He's like, mine! Oh.
Look, I'm a simple guy. I don't need a lot of equipment. I like
get
to
it.
kind of
I'm a simple
immerse
man making my
myself.
way through the universe too. So,
Are you?
yeah.
Another piece of gear I honestly can't be without. Moving on. Is Leatherman.
Yes.
At first I felt dorky and like, does this give off Republican vibes? Like having a leather tool on your belt? But honestly, a Leatherman in the field has 1,001 different uses. They come in multiple varieties. I like the Leatherman Wave the most. You get pliers that include cutters. You can grip things. You can tighten things if you need to. It's got a measuring kit on it, so if you open it up the whole way like that, it'll be hard to see on camera there, but it actually has a ruler so you can measure if you need to, and then it's kind of like a little Swiss Army knife here. You've got multiple different blades attached to it,
Alex, do his thing.
Oh, okay.
a saw,
Let him finish, and then
a file that I broke, a knife, can opener. There's a ton of stuff on here, and I have brought this with me on every field expedition I've ever been on, and this has got me out of a lot of sticky situations.
There's a question from the comments.
Question.
It says, can you please show your backpack very close to the camera and tell us what
Very
use you use for each pocket?
What use?
Each pocket. We want every single one.
And of your backpack with 15 pockets, you need to go
yes.
through
I
everyone.
don't use all of the pockets in
Yes.
mine.
So-
but
This is the Gregory Zulu. I'm not particularly attached to any one brand in particular. There's a certain point where a lot of these do the same job.
yeah.
Correct.
I just thought the color was nice. And I was heading to South Africa when I bought this, and I was like, it says Zulu on it.
You didn't want a green backpack?
I did want a green backpack. They didn't have it in green.
You went with,
So you settled with blue.
They had it in blue. I
but
settled.
it says Zulu, so it's fine.
That's okay.
It gets a pass.
Kind of a Swiss Army bag here. I'm going to pull my shovel off now. My day job is I'm an archaeologist, so I have a lot of weird attachments here. I need a little quick access pick shovel here. I've got literally from World War II entrenching shovel.
Sounds reliable.
It's small, it gets the job done, it's great. But here, I'm going to come up close, Valerie. Here's the Gregory Zulu. You've got 2 water bottle attachments, or if you get crazy, you could add, like I did, shovel pockets that have attachments here to close it in. I like to put my snake tongs in this one so they stick up. They're just easy to access. It's got this nice cool back to it to try to limit the amount of sweat that's coming off your body. There's attachments if you want to add like a hydro flask to it, which is pretty handy. I'm not too keen on camelback. I'm not too keen on a camelback only because I had one once that got incredibly moldy because I didn't clean it and mistreated it.
It sounds like a you
It
problem.
is a me problem.
That is
And I drank out of it, and it just, like drinking liquid mold
Again, your problem.
was my problem.
I love Camelback. Everyone should get one.
I like hydro flask.
I have one. It's great.
Up top, you've got just your easy go-to pocket. So I've got a handkerchief, bandana. Because of the pandemic now, I've got a mask in there. Apparently a quarter as well.
Just
What
in
else do I
case.
have in here?
You want like
Ooh,
a soda pop?
Here you go. I've got my flint right there in case. I have a lot of gear in here right now for when I'm out doing land surveys. If I get lost, which is a realistic possibility, because we're out in super remote backcountry and there's no cell coverage, and there's a lot that can go wrong. So I have some basic survival things. I thought I took them all out for tonight, but flint's still in there, bandana, handkerchief. So this is my miscellaneous pocket. When we went to Africa, I kept just things I needed to grab real quick, like extra money or a passport in there when we were traveling, stuff like that, just easy through the airport. It's also got underneath a second pocket, which right now I'm just keeping the rain fly for the bag in, easy to get to if you need it. I like that up top it's got a pouch that shrinks down, so it has a little bit more security to it. But this is the main pouch, which is 40 liters and houses quite a lot. For the time being, I've got my gaiters in there. I've got, look at this sexy piece of attire
What is that?
for work. This is called
Oh my God.
in the words of Safari
Jeez.
Steve, a safety vest.
And sexy.
Smooth.
right? There you go.
Sexy.
That way people can see you, apparently. I think I also have a pair of rain pants in here right now. Yeah, there you go. Heavy, heavy duty rain pants. I last wore those in an epic snowstorm about a week ago. That's all I have in there. It's also got a front pouch here, Valerie, if you want to add like your binder or some notes that you need to grab real quick. A pocket here that opens to get you back into the main bag. And that's about it, I guess. It's pretty handy. It's got a lot of storage in it. Your belt piece also has extra storage too if you've got things as you're hiking you want to grab real quick. Maybe, hey, your granola bar, just shove the pockets full of granola.
Right.
Why not?
That is a great
And that's
use of
about
space.
the extent of the bag there. This bag is really hardy. I've taken it through the African bush and it looks fine. We crawled through thorny things. This bag came out scot-free.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should do a whole survival episode.
Why not?
Survive, like bushcraft episode. We should do. Brought to you by Misguided.
Let me backpedal here, see the comments. Leatherman and camera bag. Yeah, Pam, aren't these super handy? 1,000,001 uses for a Leatherman. I also carry with me the Audubon Society to North America Reptiles and Amphibians, Brian says. Field references are really handy, right?
Right. Pro tip, I'm thinking about like bush stuff. If you take like a cotton ball and you coat it in candle wax, that thing will burn hot for like 2 minutes. Easy.
For like
Like
2
a
minutes.
good 2 minutes. You can get like a really just roaring fire movement. Just
You know
with
what
a
else
cotton
works?
ball and wax. What's it?
Worth packing in your survival kit, Doritos.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
Because
the same.
Doritos
That works.
true.
are
I've
actually
done
pretty.
that.
Doritos are flammable. I don't know if it makes a difference. I've always used Cool Ranch. But honestly, if you take a Dorito, the triangle, and hold it up and light it, the Dorito will catch on fire, and you can use it. It lasts about 2 minutes
Yeah.
to start a fire.
Right.
I'm
And
pretty
also,
sure I used the nacho cheese one, so it does
it's-
work on both.
Nice, nice.
Listen, it's COVID time. Everyone's got hand sanitizer. That is extremely flammable.
Because it's, alcohol.
Because I'm 5 and I've played with it before.
How about solar cell charger? Let's see. I don't know where I put that right now. Solar cell charger, why not? Easy in the field. Other gear. What else do you guys bring?
I don't like solar chargers. They take too long.
They take too long.
Like my first time in Africa, I had one that was I thought at the time was great. Had a wonderful flashlight on it. It had a crank that you would crank and whatever and put it out. It's got a solar attachment. Thing would just take days to charge up again. I'm like, what good are you? You know?
No, see, maybe I do. Hold on. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. No, I don't have it.
Mary Poppins
It must be in the house.
got it somewhere.
No, it's a solar panel that has a USB,
Right. Yes.
and
that
you
one.
can attach it to the back of your backpack. So while you're out working all day, it's charging your gear. It takes 5 to 6 hours.
It's not worth the $90. Don't get it.
It was $15.
You bought very different battery packs.
Mine works better. What other gears you
I'm
guys
just
bring?
here.
Yeah.
Shoes.
Shoes. You
Go
wear
right,
those
good-
shoes
good
all the
point,
time.
I
Jake.
wear
Sure.
Blundstones all of the time.
Those are popular these days.
They're
I
so
see
good.
those. Yeah.
I literally just bought another. Actually, my parents.
Move
bought
your
it.
foot
It's
this
my
way.
birthday next week. But
Everyone can't see your feet though, Jeff.
Oh,
Just
God.
like- there you go.
there you go.
Yeah.
They want me on your lap again, apparently.
That like the first time, you know.
I will never buy another pair of shoes. These survive everything. They survived Africa just fine. I've done nothing to them. I don't take care of them. They're
Remember
just
this
there.
conversation in like 3 years when you annihilate these.
They're gonna be fine.
That's fair.
One thing I just
But
noticed.
you don't like boots, Mr.
Well,
over
technically
there.
these are boots.
Are
I
they-
like.
They are
I'm
not
pretty
functional.
minimalist.
will
I
say
like
that
to
over
wear.
and over and over and over again. But they look good.
I kind of disagree
Disagree with what?
that they're not boots. They don't.
It's a.
They're
It's a.
walking shoes.
They're a
It's a,
shoe.
it's a desert chuka boot. That's
Right.
what it's called.
Right.
Okay.
It's meant for
All
the
right.
desert or scrub one.
Okay. Yep.
Numerous different styles. These are the South African veli for Veldeshgan. It's basically just a thick leather, traditionally the bottom is leather, shoe that's meant to walk long distance. So it is a walking shoe, but it's meant for deserty terrains. It's supposed to be light on your foot. It's a hot weather boot. So as opposed to wearing like big things that you're lacing up and all kinds of unnecessary gear, it's just really minimal, really comfortable. I've been wearing these to death. They're starting to wear through. Almost time
That's
for a
all
new
you
pair.
ever wear.
I
Just
literally
like me
wear
and
them
my
every day.
Blundstones.
They're super, super comfortable.
Yeah.
Coffee. I was going to say that's
coffee.
that's a
That's
must-have
not
in the
gear.
field. You need gear to make the coffee. You need gear to make the coffee.
So you're going to
This
carry
is called
around
product placement.
glass and a black
What's the brand of shoes?
guy.
Actually, I'll post a link to them later on, Valerie. They're called Veldeskan, which is actually I think it's written on the bottom of the shoe. Let's see if I can spell it for you on air.
Is that the solo?
Oh, it is. Hold on here. I need a light.
Soul of Africa.
Another product that I like to take with me everywhere is a headlamp. The brand is called, if you're ready here, VELDSKOEN, Veldeskan. I think the company proper is in South Africa, but they have a U.S. branch, which is based out of Los Angeles, so you can get the shoes a little bit faster if that matters to you. Really comfortable. They have a ton of different styles. They also do one with suede. This is the just kind of thick, plain, straight leather. I think these are super comfortable, to be honest, and I'm about ready to order another pair. These aren't the ones that say the soul of South Africa on the bottom.
That's a good one.
Those are the other ones. Coffee, though, I think is a must-have, and you need gear to make it. Glass might not be the best choice on a hiking trip or out in the field.
Backpack full of glass.
But if you get like a jet boil or something, that basically works the same. What do you guys think? Coffee or tea?
Both.
Both.
And whiskey.
Oh, she met the other guy's boots. Blundstones?
Yeah.
What brand is that?
The other guy.
Jeff.
Yeah,
His name
Blundstone.
is Jeff.
I'll respond
that-
to whatever. It's fine.
Is that the brand, though?
Yes.
I
so
thought
it's
a
a Chelsea boot, but
Chelsea.
the brand
That's
is Blundstone.
I thought that was a style.
So this is an
Blundstone,
Australian
Chelsea
company.
boot from Tasmania.
You know them.
Good.
Good.
This is their spokesperson.
Yes.
Yeah. Brought to you by Tasmania.
Brought to you by Tasmania.
Australia's New Zealand.
Yeah.
I thought New Zealand was Australia's New Zealand.
No.
They're in the same part of the world.
Mini New Zealand.
Mini New Zealand.
Mini New Zealand.
Coffee. What's your go-to apparatus to make it? Do you like French press? Do you like the giant machine in the house? Just coffee and hot water?
If I'm in the bush, if I'm lucky, French press is cool. But they've got this great now, like, it's like pour over. It's like a rubber thing you put just over the mug, and you just do the hot water just there.
Right. Just checking what Dylan says here. He really likes the AeroPress for the field coffee, all durable plastic. Yeah.
Yes, I know the AeroPress. Everyone should have one.
Yeah.
Brought to you by AeroPress.
Brought to you by AeroPress.
Hashtag.
Get my coffee apparatuses out of the way.
Mining for sponsors.
Please give us money.
No, I think it's worth pointing out. We don't have any sponsors. What is it?
Ew.
This is
Maybe
misguided.
AeroPress would like to sponsor
Maybe.
Misguided.
Maybe Blundstone.
Blundstone.
Tasmania, wanting that U.S. market.
Patagonia.
Patagucci.
Patagucci.
That-
That's
this,
right.
This is another staple. I've worn this everywhere too. This just simple Patagonia puffy. You're not a puffy guy. No, not for you.
They're just
He's
like-
too cool for the
If
puppy.
it gets wet, what good is it?
It's not.
Exactly. Precisely.
It's
Yeah.
not. So get a
Never.
raincoat.
I also only work in hot climates, so I don't need one.
I am with you there.
That's fair.
But it rains in hot climates.
That's okay. It's a warm rain. Who cares?
It's a warmer. I like the puffy because it rolls down really small.
Yeah.
You know, you're able to
Yeah.
pack it.
Easy to pack.
Make it small.
I packed everything I needed for a month and a half in Africa in this one bag, and this was just shove it in the base of it, and
Yeah.
you're good to go. I mean, you can beat this up and it's fine. Although yours was destroyed by a cat.
Yeah.
Not so
I'm
invincible
extremely
now, is
bitter.
it? No.
My cat ripped a hole in the pocket trying to get. Actually, when Brian was here, was kind enough to bring biltong, and I had some in the pocket, and the cat dug through the pocket to get to it. So now I have a big hole.
It's a
in my-
tenacious cat you got there.
Yeah, she's the worst. But I love her.
That's good. That's good.
That's good. Awkward pause. Field gear, glass-wise. Binoculars? No binoculars.
Binos are good.
Binos are good.
Binos are good.
Field glass in general, though, this show is being recorded on 2 different iPhones today and a Apple computer. So I'm an Apple guy personally. But if I'm using other glass, I kind of prefer Nikon because it's more durable, I think, in terms of like, you can beat it up and it's not super expensive to replace. which is nice because I don't have to worry about it. This camera body, what is this? This is the Nikon D7500.
Yeah.
It's got a weatherproof casing on it, so it's going to handle, you know, some sprinkles if you get out in that. I don't know about the lens, but I also have Nikon Pro Staff binos. What do you think? You want to look at something
Brought
in
to
the
you
dark?
by
In the dark.
Nikon.
Oh, have I? I'll stare at the moon.
Do you
How
want
you
me to
guys
just
feeling at
walk
home? Are
over
we?
there?
What kind of glassware are we?
Wow. I see the moon. Very good. Very much good.
Jeez. Here
When
we are.
the show
I don't
was
want
canceled
these.
forever.
I find this is good for birding, I think, for me. Very good.
Because you go birding all the time.
Correct.
Very much good. That camera's great. I'm sad I don't have one anymore because mine was stolen. But excellent camera.
I remember when you
Unlike
ran
the
out
one
and
you,
bought that Canon Rebel
Yes.
T6.
I want a beat
was
up
that.
camera, and it's great. I love my Rebel. It's good.
I love my Rebel.
It takes good
Said
shots.
Princess Leia.
For what it is. I love it. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think if you're going to the field, you need stuff you can beat up.
Right.
Because we're not going out to photograph Nat Geo stuff.
No,
Sure.
no.
It's more about
like,
posterity for ourselves, and then
It's like I need to put
telling the
this
folks at home.
in a backpack and then climb a mountain and then like get good shots that I want and then go back down and then do the same but for a couple months.
right.
You know, I'm not going to bring like a $3,000 camera to do that, you know. So everyone should have that really nice camera that they really like and then like one camera that they can just like beat the hell out of. And that's good. You know?
I think that's the core of field gear. It's stuff that you're going to beat up, you know.
Yeah.
And unless you're James Cameron, well sponsored, you know, epic front page news.
Right.
Why would you get the high end stuff?
Yeah.
Just get the comfortable cheap thing. Cheap things often work best. Remember at training camp, I just got those ridiculous orange flip flops.
Yes.
I think-
I eventually bought a pair as well.
I think somewhere, actually no, in most of the early episodes of Misguided, one of the standby shots is me sitting by that fire.
Yes.
If you look, I'm wearing a pair of orange flip flops that I bought for like $3,000, which is.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 5 cents.
It's like
it was a
5
nickel.
cents. Those were so comfortable though. They got me
They
through
were
every
comfy.
day.
They held up
Yeah, no worries.
surprisingly. Yeah. Excellent. And then we donated them.
No, I put mine
to
in the
people.
trash.
Did you? You idiot.
No, I don't remember what happened to those actually. Double checking comments here. Brian's going to get a puffy, but that's just because I am a puffy guy too. Unfortunately, that's just because I am part of the Big Boy Club.
Big boy.
Big Boy. Is that with a OI?
Yes.
Field gear, at the very least, I think is about things that are reliable, things that are comfortable, things that are just going to get you through your project.
Yeah.
Is there a wolf
Hello?
in the background? I don't have a whole lot else. We've about hit the end of our time. What do you guys have? Any other pieces of show and tell? We're good?
I only bought my 3 things.
I got my 3 thing. Did you show your bag? You've got a cool
I
bag.
did. So like I feel like the deal with like being out there is you need like a good bag that works for you. For me, I need like a decent kind of day pack that will carry the few things that I need personally that I think looks good, and it's like not too much muss, not too much fuss. So like I like this bag in particular like a lot. Aesthetically, it's got this cool kind of leather piece that goes over the top, and so this is actually a camera bag brought out from Nat Geo. So this is a newer bag that I actually am replacing because I had the same bag that was actually stolen from me about a month or so ago, and like geez, even the bottom was falling apart because it gets used so much. But yeah, I mean everyone should have that bag that I think just is loaded with I think memories of being out in the field or there we are. Memories of being out in the field, or you go, oh, I remember when I grazed this bag across that rock in that place, and it's just like everyone should have that lucky pick that they bring around with them all the time. So that is what I have to say about that.
Now we're over there.
Camera 1.
Brought to you by National Geographic.
And camera 1. Well, I think that's the show, guys. I don't have much more. I mean, there's lots of other stuff we go through if you wanted to go through every pocket of everything and, I don't know, get deep into the woods here.
Unless, are there any questions from you guys?
Yeah, we're going to, so
What's on your mind?
if
I feel
you're
like
at
we're
home
kind of
here, there's
freewheeling tonight.
15 seconds, 20 seconds or so is a delay. So
Yes.
we'll just hang tight a sec. We're not going anywhere. I don't know if you guys
just
are going
kind of here.
We're having a grand time.
Yeah,
We're just
we've got
hanging out.
Granola bars and gin, you know.
Only the essentials.
A healthy diet, all the food groups.
Rachel, good job. They're great. She sits in the dark over there.
We'll just give it a sec here, see if anybody else has some comments, questions, concerns, feedback, cancel the show.
Sponsored by Nazio.
Do I? No, I don't. I don't have a tiger skull in my bag. It's
Not today.
It's at home above my sink.
Where all the rest
other
of Panthera is, right?
Yes. Yeah. Only missing a few. I need a snow leopard, and I'm good.
Oh, I thought you had the snow leopard.
No,
Not yet?
not yet. No,
It'll come.
it will come soon.
You have all of Panthera above your sink and not a bunch of action figures, right?
Obviously.
So Jeff, what you need to do to like kind of be my foil is you need to get skulls of all the antelope.
All of them?
All 100. Listen, there's 138 skulls of antelope that Jeff needs to load his house with.
I feel like there's a lot that are... The horn structures are too similar.
Jeff, can you
That it's-
riddle me this question?
No.
What is the most fascinating antelope and why?
It's the most fascinating antelope?
Yeah.
Can I think about that for a while? There's a lot of antelope.
138.
Do you have an
Niall?
answer? Do you have an
Do
answer
you
to
know?
What,
I just have to
What do you
say, I
think?
appreciate Brian saying this was a better What's in My Pack episode than Coyote Peterson. Thank you. And
Yes.
Yeah!
Dylan saying
Forget
low bar,
Coyote
though.
Peterson.
100%. One of my... I have 2 goals, career-wise, if I'm so lucky to continue down this path of wildlife and making stuff and presenting stuff. And those goals are destroy, like hard, Coyote Peterson.
And Coyote, if you're watching,
I'm coming for you.
you should be afraid.
You should be. I've got a shovel somewhere. I'm coming for you,
terrified.
Coyote.
Coyote,
I'm calling you
Good.
out.
you and your dumb hat and your costume.
Actually, no,
What is this?
I have 3 goals. I'll take that back. Destroy Coyote Peterson. End the British monopoly on wildlife filmmaking.
Then all
Yes.
of Britain screamed.
It's fine. The Americans did it once before. We'll do it again.
Did they?
We did.
When?
We have our own country.
Great.
And find new and better ways to communicate wildlife. Ways that aren't
Yeah.
the same tired story.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is that communicating wildlife in the vein of being bitten and harassing animals isn't the way to go about it.
no.
What?
Okay. So what you're saying is if you take a Japanese giant hornet and you make it sting you, that's not going to make the community at large learn more about ecology or biodiversity.
No. It does nothing for it. In fact, it
okay.
encourages more bad behavior.
Well, geez, I'd hate to be anyone that does
Saiga,
that. Coyote. I see you.
Gehrnick. Gehrnick is actually a great
Gehrnick!
choice.
Yes!
The giraffe-necked antelope. That's
saw
a
Saiga in
cool.
there.
That's a cool one.
Gehrnick are awesome. Get up on their
Saiga.
back legs to get
Saiga
the
are cool
fire.
too.
I like Saiga because they look a bit like an alien antelope.
They do.
This
And
guy-
you know
they
who's
were
never
Lying
talked
on
about
the ice
Saiga?
planet of Hoth.
You know who's never talked or done an episode about Saiga?
This show.
No. Coyote Peterson.
Because they won't bite him
No.
unless he harasses
They
them
might
enough.
snort at him.
But
They're gonna run,
But
let's
they
be
make
honest.
I would argue, the best sound of any antelope.
Oh, it's so good.
That's fair.
This is a creature that
'Cause
sounds
most make
like,
yelling
I swear
sounds.
to God, they go, wee. It's an animal that sounds just like that.
Everyone quiet. One more time for the recording.
Get close to the mic.
Wee.
We're gonna make a the Sounds of Misguided album.
Good.
That'll be the
That
title,
sounds
the
great.
first title.
But Jeff, you can't. That's cheating. You can't pick Garanuk. What is the most fascinating of the antelope?
I got distracted with the Coyote Peterson thing.
Hmm.
Saiga's a really good one. Giranuk's a great one. Nilgai are interesting, I think, because it's not African. I feel like a lot of people think Africa.
I feel like the funny bit would just be to end the show in the middle of this dialogue.
All right. Fair enough.
Jeez. That's good.
I don't know.
That's okay.
They're all
Jeff.
interesting to me. I love antelope.
I
You
like-
know that.
Everyone's got their thing. That's good.
Thank you.
Love you, Jeff.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
I think about you every day.
Stop.
Yes.
You're gonna make me blush on camera in front of millions of people.
I can show you the world. Shining, shimmering, splendid.
Okay, we're getting
Well, I
off
think on that
topic
note,
here.
guys, yeah, we're far
That
away
is
from
the
where
way
we
to my
started.
heart.
Tell
But
me, princess. Now, when did you last?
Everybody
touch
at
your
home,
harp?
thank you so much for
Sorry,
watching. Again, if
Jasmine.
you're on YouTube, this isn't live, unfortunately, but I'm so happy you stopped by and watched the whole show. If you do want to watch the show live, check us out on Mammals. That's Mammals with a Z. Look up the page, Alex Coburn, be able to find it. Well, it's live Saturday nights at 7 p.m. And the fun part is we can interact directly with you guys. And like you've been hearing, we've been talking to folks through the show. They're not here with us. They're digital. You can see in the comment section that they're interacting. So if you have stuff that you want to add to the show, maybe you disagree entirely with our opinions, go ahead and let us know.
yeah, who cares about antelope?
And if you do, you're wrong.
It's more fun, I think, if it's collaborative and we can all join together. On that note, though, next week is going to be a rather special and unusual episode. We're still trying to set up all the moving parts for. Hopefully the audio works right from the get-go.
I hope so.
Brent Leo Smith, safari guide extraordinaire from South Africa,
Very good.
will be with us live. And what a trooper. For him, it's like 2:30 in the morning or 3 in the morning. It's
But
ridiculous.
he's like thrilled to do it.
He's going to go out on safari at night using special equipment to allow him to see the bush. And then we're going to be live with him. And what I'm coordinating, and I think I've got everything figured out, I just need to do it, is he'll be live, we'll be live, you'll be live at home. So you can ask Brent questions with us. And he won't be able to see your writing, but we'll be able to ask Brent on behalf of you. So that special episode is up next week. Brent Leo Smith live in the bush, South Africa, on the
Which
safari.
is very exciting.
Really cool.
For a lot of reasons, because it's a night drive, which is cool.
Which
That
you don't
means
often
that
do.
you get to see things that you don't see during the day. Like things that are like
Things
impossible to
like
see during
Batman.
the day. Like Batman. He is the
I
night.
am the night.
Yes. Like things like you might see a genet, things like neat reptiles
Or
and
Bigfoot.
birds,
Bush babies.
or Bigfoot, or a Galego, or just like you name
Anything.
it.
Plus,
Pangolin.
Brent Leo Smith is
Yeah,
what a personality. He was just on a similar program this last week, but in England, and it was broadcast all over the country live. And in the middle of the drive, an elephant snuck up and scared the crew filming.
Right.
Imagine doing our thing, and then just suddenly there's an elephant standing there. That's basically
Right.
what it was. And that happened in front of half of the United Kingdom live on air. Pretty
This
cool.
man is the literal king of the bush.
And he will be with us, Little Misguided, next week.
Yay.
So we're very excited. Yay, he said with all the enthusiasm in the world. At any rate, guys, thank you for watching. We're looking forward to bringing you another episode next week. Stay tuned. I'll be posting things throughout the week, trying to do some sneak peeks and snippets. I'll post this episode to YouTube probably Monday night, maybe, and then any other footage related to it. Thank you all. We'll see you next time. I think we did it.
We did it.
We did the thing.
That was a weird episode.
It was weird, but good. Weird,
Oh,
but
that was
good.
strange.
Fun,
Yeah, it's always fun. It's never not fun.
Yeah, I think folks like Valerie came in too late.
I think that it's.
us talking about a backpack.
I think that it's really important that for next weekend that you try to run this with Brent beforehand. Just because it's not it's going to be weird if like we go to do it and there's some technical issue. I think that you should coordinate with him to try to do.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test. I'm gonna set up dummy Zoom calls with myself, so I can be streaming a Zoom call. And